Let's wait for a few, and then let's see if people join us. Yes, we have a few viewers joining in, so we must be live. Fingers crossed. But we good to go. We'll start, right? So, hello and welcome to Momentum Office Hours. My name is Yash, and I'm joined by my co-founders Jai and Kaushik to discuss topic of the week, which is services design for your business. Our goal with these sessions is to provide you with actionable insights and practical strategies that you can apply to your own business. Throughout the session, we encourage you to engage with us by asking questions and sharing your thoughts. This is a fantastic opportunity to learn from each other and gain new insights that can help drive your digital initiatives forward. So let's get started. Jai, Kaushik, what's up? How are we doing today?
Nice. Good. Lots of
Doing
discussions.
good.
Yeah.
Lots of discussions, lots of meetings,
Yeah.
lots of conversations. So good to know. Always a good thing when that sort of continues to happen. But today we are here primarily to talk about service design for your business. Right? And so let's start with the fundamentals. Let's start with the basic. What is services design? So for uninitiated people like Kaushik and for Jay and I, what is services? I've heard of design services. So I know what is design services, but
Yeah.
what is services design?
Exactly. So services design is the stream that talks about designing the entire organizational experience or the entire business experience. So it is if you are so the customer's journey is the user experience most of the time in a business, or how they are dealing with that particular thing. We designing everything within the organization such that the employees, the people, the props and the processes that are involved, we designing them, that leads to better organizational functioning is services design.
Can you give a few examples, maybe?
I can just let me share my screen for an example.
Okay.
So
One second. We have here. Yeah, we
yeah.
can see it now.
Yeah, so I'll just give you a quick example. So, like you could see here, let's say if there is if the user experience is all about requesting for a support system, then the entire framework that happens at the background with respect to pinging the server, the review support, as well as the recording database and everything that's associated with it, and designing that is technically the service design. So usually people confuse user experience a lot with service design. So this is the clear distinction between that. This is metaphorically, if I have to define it, like let's say if there is a drama that's happening, everything that's happening in the front, if is all designing this is, let's say, is user experience, then everything that happens at the background such that the front stage happens better is actually the entire service design aspect, such that whatever is happening in the front is done better. Like I was talking about, so
So wait for it. Wait a second.
yeah,
Why didn't you tell Jai and I
yeah.
this analogy when we were discussing about services design? You used so many different words and so many different slides, and you shared so many articles and stuff like that. I understood, I understood this like I never understood it before. So just by looking at this analogy, oh yeah, now it makes sense. Uh, but why did you keep this away from Jay and I when we were talking about it?
It took me a day to create it. So
Acha, okay. Oh, I thought you're going to say that you like our viewers more than Jay and I. Got it. But sorry. Go on. You were saying.
but yeah, like Yash was mentioning, I took some time to figure this out. But yeah, because sometimes, like we were talking about, your organizational process setting and making sure that everything works the way you want it is more important to make than the product or whatever you're selling. Because making these things go well itself becomes a issue. I think one interesting way to better to position it is that you have your customer's journey, and at each stage of your customer's journey, you have your business interfering and aiding them, right? It's the service designer's job to design this interference of the businesses, and each business item that's interfering at different levels of the customer journey would involve props, people, and processes. So when I say props, we are talking about physical or digital artifacts. It could be your product or it could be a platform, anything of that sort. Then we have people who are using those things, and then we have processes which help to make sure that these people and the props are interacting in the right way. So it's the whole, all these things coming together, and how these things should come together. Designing it is the exactly the service design. So answering your question, as small as possible, this is how essentially a service design as a field is.
So I
Got it. Yeah,
mean,
this is a good, nice, simple way of looking at it.
Yeah.
so this is really interesting, right, Kaushik? But wanted to understand what form of businesses should more, have these things sorted upon with respect to services design. That is first, and mainly, like, at what stage should they think upon it?
Service design is a problem that's specific to a scale. We are talking about, let's say you are a business and you have multiple, essentially, the time when people are involved, multiple people are involved in it, and multiple entities or platforms are involved in it. Then you would start facing this problem of how to make sure that all of them sync together the right way. Now, let's say you are a company. Let's say you are a retail store, for example, right? Like you just started with one product, and then now, as a brand, now you start to have multiple outlets. Now that's when your entities are increasing, the people in the outlets are increasing, as well as the platforms that the people will be interacting with also increase. Let's say if I have to, let's say you're selling bags, right? And you have multiple outlets which are also selling the similar product, that is the bags. Now your customer is entering the store from the stage of he getting to know about the product. Then he researching about the product, where he's seeing the display, he's interacting with people, he's looking at the catalog and different kinds of varieties within that. Then at the stage of actually doing the purchase, and then he moves to the stage of where he's after the purchase, there is a support stage where the one that he purchased, what all actions need to be done, and then to the stage of making sure that the customer, you are constantly having an engagement with the customer who purchased that particular package. All these stages, there are people who are involved in the front stage, who are doing these, who are dealing with these customers, and they are using some or the other platform. It could be a ERP system, it could be a POS system that is involved at that particular stage. And at the backstage, there is a ERP system which tries to bring this all together. For example, let's say when someone is looking or in a research stage, sort of trying to make this decision about which bag to go for, you have a person who is showing the baggage. Then okay, great. So you have a person who is showing the baggage, and then you have a person, which means that there should be a catalog system digitally with the in-store staff, such that they are aware of what to show and what not to show. So but how do you know that this particular catalog system should be readily available digitally with me? And also fact that you should train your staff on with respect to the product knowledge. So there should be an entire staff training system whenever a new staff comes in, to make them aware about the product knowledge and everything. So that's why I said it's a problem at scale. So when multiple entities start involving, especially more people and more platforms start to come in, new processes have to be set in and designed. So that's where it comes out as an important thing. So I could say that if you are in a if you're a company who's just scaled to more than like a particular revenue and moving to the next stage, that's essentially when you need these services.
Correct. And so largely, I mean, one of the things that I've also sort of observed previously is that the earlier you start to design services, it is the better it is for the business, right? Because in a smaller group at a smaller stage, you have the liberty to make a couple of mistakes and learn, and then the services design can evolve over a period of time as well. But can you, like, do you have an example to show? Like, let's take a sample business and then let's look at from like an entire client life cycle from start to finish, or a part of that journey.
Yeah.
If you could explain how that could look like, or how that could work, that will be helpful.
Yeah, let me share that. Yeah, could you see my screen?
Yeah.
So I'll just show you a sample example of how this could be done. So once we get into the action of doing the service design, what a service designer would essentially do is create a service blueprint. Now, service blueprint starts with mapping the customer's journey. Let's say in this case, as, a customer is coming to do a purchase of an appliance, right? So they are visiting the. So we map the entire customer journey from the start to the finish. So they're coming to the website, then they are visiting the store, then they are at a stage where they are trying to figure out what all features the appliance they would like to purchase has. Then they are making the purchase, then they are getting the things delivered. So there is a point A to point B journey for each customer with respect to the individual business, whatever it is. Now, when we try to map it in service design, we divided it into two essential stages. One is front stage and the other one is backstage. The front stage, we again divided into two sets. That is, what are the actions that people are doing, and what are the actions or what are the platform? What is the role of the platform or the technology that helps the employees to do the action better? So when someone is visiting the website, there is no person involved, but you need a support chat system in your website, such that in case if they have any queries, it needs to be addressed. And when they are visiting the store, there is a human that is welcoming the person into the store, and there is also an employee who checks the inventory and also makes sure the delivery times are all planned out when they are trying to discuss the features and the price and the availability. And when someone makes a purchase, they have to provide the delivery time. So for all these actions that you're seeing in the backstage, there is a system that is aiding them to make these decisions, make these informed decisions. For example, here you could see that when let's say when I am a customer and when I'm discussing about the features and everything, let's say I liked a particular product and there is a product on the display, but for the product that I want to be delivered to me, I need to know, I need to have the inventory management system to be ready such that I could check and tell at what delivery time would that be available to you. So, and the fact that your inventory management system should talk to the point of sale system, which is available at the front stage. Your inventory management system is not available in store, but your point of sale system talks to your inventory management system and gives you that information. So, like I was saying, now in the backstage, these platforms are trying to aid you or help you to help your staff to give your customer the right information and the most informed information. Then we have the support process, that is basically what all systems or processes that help us to make sure that the backstage action and the front stage action happens better. For example, when someone is coming to the store, we know that the staff who is in the front stage is going to welcome them and talk to them. But what key performance indicator would help us to know or to have an analysis of, make sure that this is happening the right way? So the foot traffic scanner, or the time, in fact, the foot traffic scanner, the technology has advanced so much now that we have systems which could literally map where the user is standing within the outlet, and then make sure that at that, if the user is spending more time near a particular product in the store, then we could actually highlight or spend more time on selling that particular product at a higher rate, because most of them are more interested in that. It's literally like a three-dimensional heat map. This is the same logic that you apply for your website. You would do it for a store. Likewise, now what the point that I'm trying to make here is that it's something simple as a customer journey, then coming down to who the people are involved, and then the technology that is available within the store, and the technology that is at the complete backend, that helps them to helps the staff as well, to aid better customer experience during the course of the journey. and then the metrics that helps me to constantly keep check of how these platforms and the staff are functioning together. So all these things come together for just as simple as a single customer journey as this, right? Now, when you do this exercise, you have complete visibility over how your business performance is happening, and and also which system is talking to what. So that helps us to make decisions, to plan the next future business, where in fact it even helps you to understand where can I introduce AI integrations within this, because everyone wants to have AI within their business now. That is like a hot selling cake now. But this gives you more informed decision about where to actually implement AI, such that it helps the most and gets the better ROI for my business. So these kind of decisions to make it, like if you think in an organizational level, it becomes difficult of who actually makes these decisions, because most of the time you have your founders who are spending most of their time thinking about from the product side and the customer side. And the fact, it is so interesting that, like, if you could just make within your organizational experience better, it eventually indirectly helps for the better customer journey.
Yeah.
That thought process itself is, it hits them only when they reach that scale. It's that simple.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, the fact that founders think about the product and founders think about the customer is actually good for consultants like us, right? Which is where we get to go into their business and help them understand that this is important. This will drive efficiency. This will drive better customer experience. This will drive growth and so on and so forth. So I'd say let the founders think about the product and investors and customer experience and stuff like that. Let us think about this and then like go in and help the business. But jokes aside, I think one of the things that this is also helpful in letting businesses make a decision as to where does AI agents or where do AI fit in, right? Which is where now you are able to actually, if you have services design across all of your customer journeys or across all of your departments, you literally know that this is the metric that will move because we'll introduce AI or for whatever reason, right? Then let me come to the next question that I have, which is, at what point of time do I, like, what are the metrics that I use to measure whether an existing service operation that I have or whether the existing service design that I have, however poorly designed, right? Currently the services are being sold and consumed. It may not be the best, but they are being sold and consumed. So what are the metrics that will tell me that this needs to improve, that this part of the journey needs a service design?
Now, I think the best way to think of this is that it is specific to the industry. So, for example, I'll take one use case. For example, if you're trying to, let's take retail industry, for example. Now, within the industry, when we try to, whenever a service designer tries to do an entire analysis or research into this, there is a as-is blueprint and there is a to-be blueprint that one creates. So as-is blueprint, in that use case, let's say for retail industry, let's say in this case, for retail industry, if a service designer is trying to do a as-is blueprint, in that the metrics will be very different compared to the kind of metrics that would be applicable for a healthcare industry service blueprint. So when in retail industry, for example, like I just showed in that example, foot traffic metrics, as well as things like average order value, net promoter score, things like with respect to order cycle time. So when a customer finishes their entire journey in offline or online, we often ask for a feedback and try to rate us out of 10 or 5 or whatever the number it is, based on which we could calculate a net promoter score, and the score would give us that could help us to create cohorts of our customers, and then who is the most loyal customer, who is not loyal customer, and make business decisions according to that, right? So now this is very specific to retail industry. And order cycle time at the purchase level, we could fix that as a metric, where how my my warehouse management system and how my inventory management system and my POS system and all these things are talking together well, such that it and how I could improve the the order cycle time. At the same time, there will be third party vendors, partners that are involved, because the person, most of the cases, the person who is delivering the product could be a third party vendor, right? So it also depends on integrating our system with their system. So so those kind of metrics would come in place there. So I think the metrics will shift according to the industry, but the pattern of how we measure it or how we go about it will be similar. So it depends on the customer journey. Like if you remember when I showed the example, there was a time factor that was involved on the top everywhere, right? And
Yeah.
time is one metric which should help, which should inform us in much better way to do it. Which means in as is blueprint, when you mapped it, let's say at the stage of where when the user is in the store, they are spending 20 minutes, let's say, within the store. Now, in the to be blueprint, you could suggest saying that I want my customer to spend more time within the store. So I could say that I want my customer to spend 40 minutes. Now, you could clearly see right below it what is the front stage action, what is the backstage action, what is the, and at different levels, uh, what changes could I bring in that would help me to make sure that my customer spends more time here. But at the purchase and the order delivered or the support stage, that time should be minimized, right? So you would say, then you would check it again when you map it downwards, like in the example just we discussed. You would start thinking that, okay, fine, my warehouse management system is functioning at this pace, and my inventory management system is this is happening. What is happening within the systems that is not that is not allowing me to go faster, or even with my third party vendor? So it's that kind of, so it is, we just started with time as a metric, and you just saw how we just went down and mapped everything together.
Correct.
Everything together.
So,
So
Correct.
it differs, but the pattern is still the same. Yeah.
so Kaushik, could we say that like for the for from innovation standpoint, I guess services design is one of the crucial factors, because without that, what happens is you typically look as a customer journey separately and the service journey or the employee journey separately. Now, as you showcased in the blueprint as well, right? That when you try to map it from in a proper timestamp, what happens is from initial standpoint where customers entry is happening, whatever service business it is, or whatever product business it is, but when a customer journey starts from that point itself, there's a parallel line from service standpoint. That's where we draw. So initially people were just thinking on, okay, once the order is received from the customer side, then the implementation or things are happening upon. But then now there's a parallel line, both things are running parallel, and that's where the thought process of innovation comes in as well. And that's how we also see a lot of good companies where they come up with unique ideas on increasing the customer experience. So ultimately it's improving customer experience, but then thinking on how services would act.
Yeah, it is sort of like a reverse engineering process. Like you can't just randomly one day come up with an idea that if I do this, my customer will be happy. That can't be the process. So the only way you could actually have a like a predictable way of how the customer's experience could be done better is mapping out what is happening with your customer and how that is relating to how you are providing that service. So I think the best way to define this is one needs to understand what is the connection between good and a service also here. So any tangible item or something that you're selling is a good, whereas everything that you do to sell it becomes a service part, right? And your company is somewhere in between these both tangents. So like for example, if I have to give, and the definition keeps changing according to what the business is. For example, we could say that if Spotify is there, the song is a product, and your streaming service could become the service aspect there. So, which is trying to do it now. If Spotify as an application spends, you will also see that Spotify spends so much time designing the streaming platform not so much time on the making sure the product is great. Or that is still, I mean, they do spend some time there also, but significant amount of money goes into making sure that that service part gets better, so that how well can I reach this to my customer, because your product is a one time wonder or a one time idea that could be great or could not be great, but your service is a ongoing process that you have to keep doing. Right? So for you to sustain the business and to scale the business, it's service design that's more important than anything
Yeah, the
else.
service is how the customer interacts with the product, right?
Exactly.
So yeah,
So you
no,
design.
absolutely
Yeah.
makes sense. So what are in your experience? What are some of the so everyone, like any business owner that you will ask, whatever scale, they will say we want to have excellent service design, right? So now I know Kaushik said that there is front stage and there is backstage and customer experience, and put customer at the center and then map everything out, and I want excellent service design for my business also. What, in your experience, what are the roadblocks that you have seen that stops typical business owners, most business owners, to think about service design for their business, or implement a service design that they have in their mind, right? And this is a challenge that we ourselves also face all the time,
Yeah.
which is where we have so many ideas in our head, that this will make the customer experience better, or that will make the customer experience better, and this is how we should optimize and stuff like that. We are also not able to implement. What are some of the roadblocks that you see?
It is exactly this. So you sort of answered the question also. They have so many ideas about the product that they have very less time to think about how to, run it. So because uh, you will be very often you'll see that founders at a scale will delegate work, right? So now they think that the person who they delegated it to is would take care of it, would get it done, right? Now the thing is, the person whom you delegated is also a person, is a part of the system, right? Now, so he also needs processes, he also needs things. And very often what happens is that you would have delegated, let's say for example, you would have delegated marketing work to one person, and let's say that the fulfillment part to another person. They will create their own processes for their teams and the thing. And when separate, they all are working at silo level at individually. What happens is both of them do not talk to each other. You would very often see this point. You would all be in the same company, but you don't know what is happening in the accounting team.
Yeah, they go for lunch together, so
Yeah.
they know what's happening, in their personal lives for sure, but they don't know, how a particular journey has been designed.
Yeah, and but the thing is, your customer is not experiencing your
Correct.
product that way. That is that, for example, you think that your organization is in vertical, but your customer is traveling in horizontal, and you assume that he's only having one touch point at one time. But that's not how it works. Your organization are in horizontal, and customer is also in horizontal, and he is actually experiencing multiple touch points at the same time. He's
Yeah,
experiencing purchase and support probably back to back at the same time, within a fraction of within some
correct,
minutes while he is in the outlet
correct.
or something. So now, if your support is not interacting with your purchase team, or with respect to your order fulfillment team, then the entire system breaks. That means that my order was supposed to get delivered in a day. Since it was not talking to me better, it takes 2 days. I'll tell you a very good example. This we all might have experiences. You would have called a support chat or a support call. It would have taken your information just to transfer you to the next call, or
Yeah,
relevant person who it is. You would
yeah.
go to the next relevant person, and he will ask you the same information
Same
again.
information. Yeah, happens all the time.
And we immediately, the customer gets frustrated, right? Because he'll be like, I just gave the information.
Yeah, yeah,
So now the staff who is actually taking this call, he doesn't know that the information was taken previously. Who is going to solve this issue now?
correct.
The biggest roadblock, but coming back to your question, is that founders very often, since they delegate work, uh,
Yeah,
and also they are so focused on the fact that the product is so important, and like it's similar thing that we saw in SaaS also, is right, like people are so obsessed with building the features Like
Yeah.
you forget about how the existing system is working
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
customers that are there. It is a similar kind of a roadmap here. Like they're so focused on the product that needs to go out. How the existing that you have created, is that service getting done the better way? That awareness itself is less, but it comes. So the thing is, it will bite when it bites you back. It's very harsh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you'll see that entire system fails when it happens.
So, Kaushik, before we run out of time, I wanted to ask. We actually have, but I would still like to ask one quick question to you. For businesses who are looking to scale, especially, you can take example of an industry, but who are looking to scale. How do, and now they know that they don't have service design done in house, and they don't know even who from their team, the entire multiple department, whom to approach for services design. What do they need to do? How do they start?
This
So
is the best question, Kaushik. Please take as much amount of time as you want.
Yes.
okay, so so the thing is, like I said, you as a founder, you're more focused on the product. So you are so used to delegating things, so it's better to delegate it to a consultant who does this job better. So, and the fact that they have done this for a number of times for different industries, they know exactly how for different varied industries. In fact, if the consultants have done it for different varied industries, it's good to go out for that particular consultant, because they know how to switch across, and they have seen multiple innovations in different sectors. So they will pick up one or two different innovations that they have
Yeah.
tried out, and I'm pretty sure, like for example, in healthcare industry, the innovation
Mhm.
that they would have tried out might not have worked out there, but it would have been excellent opportunity or a use case in the retail industry.
Yeah.
So it will come in as a great input over there. So which we also happen to do.
Yeah, and so like consultants like Kaushik, the other thing on top of this is also the fact that they know the benchmarks, right? So sometimes you don't know as to let's say, let's take again retail as an example, because we've spoken about that a few times. If you're running a retail business, you don't know what is the ideal amount of time that a person should spend at checkout. What is the ideal amount of time that a person should spend browsing the store that you've built, right? And so they, like, a consultant comes in with benchmarks also, where they know they've done it, 5 6 times before, and so they understand the challenges of certain solutions, and they also understand what are the milestones or benchmarks to hit, and until then there's optimization possible, right? So that's also helpful and meaningful.
And
And so
adding
with
to
sure.
just a small point, and adding to that, it is also these so the consultants would help you to fix the right KPIs, and also will help you to fix the right KRAs that would help you to, and also tell you how to assess them constantly, such that you
Yeah.
can put your product manager or the person whoever is responsible for that to regularly check on this. For example, if you didn't implement foot traffic metric, how would your product manager even know that he need to measure that? And the fact that that is the first metric that you should have started with.
Correct.
How many people are coming into the store, and how many people are going out purchasing? What is
Yeah.
the ratio of it? So these kind of things is something that your consultants will back you up with, and make
Mhm.
you more informed decisions and scale you significantly faster.
Yeah.
In your business.
No, absolutely. And so I think with that we come to the end of the conversation for today. I think we had a great conversation around services design for your business, and we'll see you in our future streams. But in the meantime, if it would be great if you found value from this video, if you think that this is helpful, do let us know your thoughts in the comments. Do subscribe, do follow wherever you're watching this, whether it is YouTube or LinkedIn. See, I tell you what, right? So if you subscribe to us, if you like the value that we've delivered in this conversation, subscribe. If you didn't like it, subscribe nonetheless, because it will help us deliver value in the future. So we'll figure something out. But if you like this, do comment, share, subscribe, send it to someone who might find this helpful, right? I've been asked to shamelessly plug in the subscription, plug in the comments and stuff like that, and so I decided I'm going to do that. But thank you, Kaushik, for your insights, and thank you everyone for joining in. Until
Yeah.
next time,
Thank you.
bye.